Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Story Told once again. As always, we are proud members of the D20 Radio Network, and we are partnered with Fool's Moon Entertainment. We are also tied to Metallic Dice Games. Go to their website, enter the code StoryTold10 into your order to receive 10% off. A couple other little announcements. I know we missed last week with The Body Electric. I do apologize about that. Life comes up. We do have another game, not this Friday, but next Friday, and then we're going to take all of July off and be back at August. I just wanted to kind of give you guys a heads up. So we're back to building character, and today I really struggled with what game to pick. I don't know why, I was just not sure what to do. And then I thought about D&D, and then it was like, no, but everyone kind of knows D&D. But then I thought, maybe not everyone does know D&D. But I'm not doing D&D today. I will do it soon, but not today. I've been on a real indie kick lately. So today, what we're going to be doing is the Quest RPG, and it's very much in that same vein of D&D, but it's a lot more pared down. It's more narrative in focus, and it's about being anyone and anyone you want to be. And it has a really beautiful thing on the first page where it just says, "Welcome, friend. This is a special place, a retreat from your worries and obligations. Now, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and open your mind. Ready? Let's begin." And I love that it just kind of like wants you to be zen about it and just get into this like moment of just like breathing and just seeing what happens. When you open it up, it talks about what's inside. It teaches you how to play the game. The game is played very narratively, but when you do have to have a mechanic, you roll a d20. Then you talks about creating your character. It talks about preparing your characters with special abilities and equipment. And then if you're the guide or the GM, it teaches you how to run the game. I'm really excited about this game. I was kind of late to the party with it. They do have a Kickstarter coming soon. I'm not sure on the date about that, where it's taking the quest structure and the skeleton and transferring it to like more of a sci-fi kind of setting. It's going to have new character options, like they call them roles in this game, that apparently can be mixed and matched with regular quests, so you could make all kinds of fantastical stories. Now today I'm going to be doing two characters, because if you look at the character sheet, you'll see that it's very, very, very streamlined. It's your character profile and worksheet and all of this will be explained. It's kind of like a fill-in-the-blank Mad Lib kind of situation. Like I said, I'm going to be making two characters, and I think I'm going to be making best friends today. So, let's see. Let's find the character sheet. The character creation for creating your character. It's called your character profile. It's going to give you ideas to help you fill in the blanks and create unique and interesting characters. You can start by choosing your name. I'm going to choose a name last because I haven't really thought about that yet. It talks about choosing your age with a maximum lifespan of 300 years for anyone, which is cool. And your height, which is between 3 and 8 feet tall. Then you follow steps 1 through 8 to finish creating your character, and use your own creativity to fill in the blanks. You're not obligated to use examples in the book. I'm probably going to largely use examples in the book just so I can streamline this, not have to think too hard, and you're going to see how this is done. First things first is you choose a role, and I'm going to choose the age and height at the end. Those first blanks I'm doing right at the end. You'll see in the parentheses, it's a place to put pronouns. This game is very, very, very much about inclusivity. There's 8 different roles in the game. You have fighters, which are what this says on the 10. You have invokers, which are battle mages. You have rangers, outlanders, hunters, that sort of thing. Naturalists are kind of akin to druids in a sense. You have doctors, which is a magic scientist who tinkers with the forces of life and death. You have magicians, which is more like the wizards and scions of D&D. You have spies, which are... Oh, I'm sorry, magicians are kind of like... magicians, sorry. It's like more like stage magicians and tricksters, manipulation, that sort of thing. Apologies for that. You have spies, which are stealth and subterfuge, kind of akin to rogues in a sense. And then you have wizards, which are more like traditional wizards. Now, I think for my first character, I think I'm going to make a party, I think, Invoker, a battle mage. And what it says is the Invoker is a battle mage, relying on the force of their ideals. They conjure protective wards, invigorate allies in a pinch, and smite enemies with radiance. So kind of like a paladin, in a sense. So the first thing you'll see is when people see me, they first notice my blank, and you choose 3 things. And it's when you're looking at the book, it talks about body, face, and vibe. Let's see. I think I'm going to go with a speckled complexion. So that's my body. My face. I think I'm going to go romantic eyes. I'm kind of making a knight in shining armor, I feel like. And the vibe. Let's see. Romantic eyes, speckled complexion. Let's go with graceful posture. Ooh, God, this is going to go really quick. This might be a short episode today. I do apologize, everyone. And then you see I wear blank. And you have 2 options here. You can choose 2, you can choose 1, you can choose whatever you want, really. I think since I'm doing a knight in shining armor, I want to go with something armor-like. A shining halberd. A shining halberd. Ooh, wrong line. See, look, like Julia Child. The mistakes happen. I can't do her voice, though. I wish I could. And for my second one, I'm going to go with a humble tunic. How is everyone doing out there in the internet land? Anyone care to chat? I'm here to answer questions, annoy you, do whatever I want. You can call me out. Let's see. He moved. I think it's going to be a he, him. I do think that. Let's see. Let's make him 19. I'm just kind of... I said I was going to do this at the end. We're going to make him 5 foot 10 inches tall. A little on the shorter side, perhaps, but, you know, it's fine. It's fine. Knights in shining armor come in all shapes and sizes. Remember that. Let's see. And he moves with... Fearlessness. Okay, here's where it kind of gets interesting, because in step 4 it talks about home. And what's really cool about this is, like a lot of indie games like you see in Wander Home, Sleepaway, any belonging outside belonging game, really, even in PBTA with like Thirsty Sword Lesbians, congrats on that for winning the Nebula, that's awesome. Or even Monster Hearts, you kind of world build while you do character creation. So I think that he is from a capital city. Whereas people are known for what? What are my options here? Why? Oh, there it goes. Wow. Why is it whenever I stream my phone blows up? I love it. I love it. Let's say once ruling a vast empire. So it's a kingdom on decline. Vast, that's the word. Ruling a vast empire. And the cool thing is I'm going to put it in personal inventory. The character sheet doesn't have room for, like, your abilities, which is kind of a detriment. I do think there is a version that does, but not the version I have, and I couldn't find the other one. But that's okay. We'll get past it. So now you have to believe in something. And you choose 2. And these are things like compassion, generosity, heroism, justice, order, pleasure, pragmatism, honor, power, salvation, and the ends. Like the ends justify the means, kind of. But one of them always gets in your way, and that's your vulnerability, and that's step 6. So the first thing that we believe in is, let's say, honor is an injustice or obvious choices for this kind of knight in shining armor, but I kind of think I'm going to go with compassion. I think this guy's just a really nice dude. And what it says about compassion, you believe people deserve mercy and safety. And there's a quote with all of these, and the one for compassion says, "I know it will delay us, but we should help the stranger first." So maybe that's how these two characters became friends. Maybe he helped them, or her, or him, or I don't know yet. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. But I think that's how they met, is this Invoker saved, somehow, the other one. Let's see. So now we're going to go to step 6, being vulnerable, because nobody's perfect. It says here right in big letters in the book. And there's things like fearful, megalomaniac, idiot, impish, oblivious, thief, hedonist, liar, recklessness, wrathful, and vain. Let's see. So romantic, graceful, humble tunic, fearless. I think maybe his reckless side can get in his way. So he wants to do good, but he's kind of impulsive, and that gets him into some trouble sometimes. So finally, you have to dream big and give them a goal to work towards. And this is going to give your guide an idea of what you want to accomplish with the character. And what the guide would do in this with all the other players is they take all their dreams and kind of push them, like put them all together and look and see what kind of story you can tell, while also looking at the fact that he comes from an empire in decline in a capital city. So like big cities and knights and damsels in distress are going to be a part of his story, and incorporating that in with everyone else's to kind of build this overarching narrative. Let's see. I think he wants to become a leader of his nation. Bam. Okay, so before I choose powers, I probably should choose a name. I think. What do I think? Let's name him Martin. I like that name. That's a good name. Martin's a good name. It feels suitably archaic. Okay. So let's see. Your character profile is finished. Now grab your character worksheet. You may choose 3 common weapons, and you may choose 1 useful item from the next page. So, 3 common weapons. Let's see. Let's do... He has a sword, obviously. We already know he has armor. And what it says here, sorry, I'd like totally zoned out, is all common weapons like swords, bows, spears, hammers, knives, and more deal 2 damage each. Ranged weapons, you have to use an additional inventory slot for ammo. So let's see, a sword. Let's give him a shield. I don't know if it'll do anything, but we'll figure that out. And we'll put a dagger as well. Now, I have 1 useful item. This is things like lockpicks, magic ropes, magic flask, magic candles, kiln gauze. It repairs broken weapons. Brel's tent and a 10, which is just what it says on the 10. Sky collar amulets, and a friend flute. Let's do... You know, I kind of like the idea of a magic flask. And what the magic flask... not with a K, that's other games. So it says, the magic flask automatically replenishes itself with a spirit of your choice. Choose once. And I think we're going to put gin in it, because I like gin. And, you know, even a knight in shining armor deserves a good martini every now and then. Now, let's see. I need to figure out how you choose how you determine your action points and your HP. I'm kind of wondering if that is at the beginning of this. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Well, we'll find it. We'll choose our abilities first, and then we'll kind of go in there. You choose 6 abilities from your path. So we're going to go to the Invoker. And the illustration for the Invoker is so pretty. I love it. I think that's like my favorite illustration in the entire game. As you can see, I have my bookmark there already. It says, the Invoker closes their eyes and utters a mantra, raising their sword to the sky as it ignites in a glorious flame. They peer into the souls of others to divine their intentions and their true nature. They ward their friends from harm and smite those unworthy of their ideals. The Invoker is a good choice if you want to play a character who channels greater truths to achieve their goals. They can be devout paladins serving a righteous god, oath-keeping warriors, quixotic vigilantes, or dark knights. And I think that's kind of what I've already geared him towards. So there's different groupings of powers with the Invoker. You have Invocation, you have Inquiries, and you have Verdicts, Wraths, and Wards. And then there's legendary things that you can get later. I think you have to master stuff. We're not going to get into that tonight. You do have to get them in order. So I'm going to put this on the inventory. That's not necessarily where it goes. And I'm going to start at 7 just so we're kind of clear. Let's see. I think I'm going to start taking with Inquiries, and I'm going to take Soul Gaze. And it says your eyes turn black, like the simmering gateways to eternity as you peer into the eyes of nearby creatures. They become momentarily transfixed on your gaze. I think I'm also going to take Impression, which is the second one. And for a fleeting moment, you feel its desires, and the guide reveals to you something specific that the creature routinely craves. I'm going to go into Verdicts and take Inspire and Compel Truth, which kind of are more or less what they do. I'm going to take Fiery Avenger to give him a flaming sword, and that's from Wrath. And then for my last one, Wards. We're going to delete Shield here, and we're going to put, maybe another sword. Maybe he has 2 swords. I don't know. No, we're not going to do that. Another dagger. I think that makes sense. But we're going to take the power Shield. And this one's really cool. You summon a magical shield that appears as an aura of soft light around your body. The shield blocks up to 3 hit points of damage. And it lasts until it takes 3 or more damage in a single hit. So as long as it's only taking 2 damage in a hit, you're fine. Now, I just need to figure out... Oh, that's right. We can make a world. We'll probably do some world building, and we'll talk about that as we get in there. But where is the AP and HP thing? I don't quite understand how you determine that. This is world building. We'll come back to that. I should probably bookmark that so we can find that easier after we build these two yahoos. Just flip, 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 flip. Oh, maybe it's earlier. See, this is why we do this. This is why we do this. Okay, so I found adventure points. You begin with 10 AP, and your abilities cost. Oh, that's weird. Okay, well then we'll do 10 AP. You spend 8 action points to activate your abilities. It tells you how much they cost each, and you earn 5 AP at the end of each game as a reward for spending time with your friends. Talks about XP. Where is the... I feel like I'm going crazy. We will find it together, my friends, though. We will find it together. Oh, this is interesting. When you roll a d20, a 1 is catastrophe, 2 to 5 is failure, 6 to 10 is a tough choice, meaning you succeed, but there's a cost. And the guide then will give you a choice between 2 setbacks to choose. 11 to 19 is a success, which is just fine. And if you're dealing damage, for example, you deal a standard amount. And if you roll a 20, it's a triumph. If you deal damage, you double it. You might find extra bonuses for that. Here it is. It is in Don't Run Out of Hit Points, which is a good section for that to be in. And you start with 10 HP. Now, you lose hit points if you are damaged by weapons, spells, and other things that cause you harm. For example, you can lose 2 HP from being hit by a sword. But standing in a dragon's fiery breath might deal 6 damage to you. When you rest for a short time with no enemies nearby, you regain up to the halfway point of your maximum hit points. So if you're at 3 HP, you'd recover 2. When you rest, you recover 10. Now it says here you can't be seriously hurt until you run out of hit points. When you drop to 0, you're at death's door. You can't go below 0, but you remain there until you regroup, rest, or heal. If you're a hit while you're already at 0 HP, you roll the die. If the result is equal to or less than the hit, your character dies. For example, if a sword hits you for 2 HP while at death's door, you are killed if you roll a 1 or 2. So it's actually kind of hard to die unless you're doing something like standing in a dragon's fiery breath, which makes sense. Yeah, cool. Yeah, okay, so that is Martin. I'm going to minimize that. Now you get to see your lovely faces here on the screen. And I am going to do some cool acrobatics here. I think that is not working. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Perfect. Now we have character 2. Let's see. I think I'm going to make this character she, they. I know that much. She's probably 22. And I'm going to make her tall. Make her 6 foot tall. I like them. I'm going to make them 6 foot tall. I don't know their name yet, but they're going to be the party's... Let's see. We have kind of like a warrior type. So let's see. ideals. Let's go with a naturalist. I like this idea of order and like reason from like the city, like the capital city versus nature, and I think that'd be a nice push and pull between the two. Naturalist. Perfect. That was weird. I'm sorry. I hope I got that fixed. Here we go. Let's see. So we have our naturalist. They first noticed their lived in body. I think that kind of makes sense for like a naturalist and druid type. Devastating smile. With a spacebar in the right place. And let's see. Sparkling gaze. So, whatever their name is, very like rooted in the ground, beautiful smile with sparkling eyes. I'm imagining someone kind of joyful. Let's see. I wear runes in my hair. And an animal brooch. Let's see. Your brooch. I think, though, I'm going to make this an owl. No, a fox. Yes, a fox. And they move with relentless focus. Okay, so while Martin is from a capital city, I think this character is from a hidden warren, where their people are known for enduring a great tragedy. I think perhaps maybe like this character might be the heir to the throne and something happened and their family fell or something. I don't know. We'll come to that with what they dream of. I think that they believe in heroism. But my fearful side gets in their way. And let's see, they dream of I think I'm going to make something up here. I think that they dream of bringing comfort to my people. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 10 AP, 10 HP. I don't know why that's not form fillable, but we'll get through it. Let's see. I need to name them. I need to get gender neutral name. Let's see. Rowan. Yes, Rowan. I like that. I like that a lot. Cool. So, gear up. I get, let's see, I'm going to do a quarterstaff, a bow. Let's make this more specific. Quiver of arrows, and then a friend flute. And a friend flute is a small magic whistle that knows who your friends are. When you blow in the whistle, only your friends nearby can hear its sound. I think that's kind of cool. So now we're going to go to the Naturalists. Oh, wow, I flipped right to it. That's awesome. And the Naturalist has Shapeshifter, Summoner, Elementalist, Stormcaller, Spirit Caller, and Ecologist. I do think I'm going to take Animal Form. I think it doesn't say you can only choose one animal, but it says you can choose any creature that is no smaller than a mouse and no larger than a horse. I think primarily Rowan turns into a fox. I don't really want the next shapeshifter thing. I don't really want Summoner. I think I'm going to do Spirit Caller. And the first one gives you Wild Aspect. Depending on how many AP you spend, you can gain Eagle Eye Vision. If you spend 2, you can get Dark Vision, like seeing in the dark with a cat. And for another 2 points, you can do Wolf, which can give haste. So we're going to do Wild Aspect. Prey Sense. Yeah, I think I'm going to do all of the Spirit Callers. And Nature's Watch. Now, Prey Sense lets you sharpen your sense of danger for the next hour. It's like Danger Sense. In the Nature's Watch, you can choose 2 of these abilities, which is Aura Sight, Infra Sight, Dark Sight, Mirror Sight, and Real Sight. Real Sight lets you see through illusions. That's Una barking because she is being a butt. Mirror Sight lets you see around corners inside of closed spaces. That's really cool. So that's 4 of my 6. And I don't think Stormcaller makes sense, but I do think Ecologist makes sense. And I'm going to take Command Nature. Which does nature damage. And then Memories of Stone, which is if you encounter a stone monument like a mountain, canyon, or statue, you can touch it and channel its ancient wisdom. You must tell the stone a story about your family, perhaps in memory of a gathering like a holiday. Give the story at the table. And when you do this, the monument reciprocates your offering by sharing its wisdom. You sense whether this world is real and natural or some kind of machination. You can sense whether there's any long-lost monuments beneath the surface, like hidden temples, ancient vaults, which kind of is cool because of the hidden warren that Rowan comes from. And then you can also vaguely sense the most powerful lost artifact in this world in the region where it might be located, which is really, really cool. And that's called Memories of Stone. Okay, cool. So that is Rowan and Martin. Now, I didn't pull up a sheet for world building, so we're going to... Damn. We're just going to, chat now. And I'll take some notes, and... This is something that you do with the guide, but it's primarily the guide's kind of thing. And I'm going to make some notes here on my phone and type these up while we talk. And let's see, world building. And when I post these all in the blog, I'll have all the 2 sheets and the world building sheet. I'll type that up and have it all put together. So your story begins. Let's see. Let's say it begins at the seat of the seven banners. And that is going to be the seat where Martin is from, the capital city of this ancient empire, the Seven Banners. So I'm going to pick a note in here that that's Martin's capital city. Bam! Cool. Your story begins at the seat of the Seven Banners, we're going to make that, since it's a declining empire, let's call this a military nation. That kind of makes sense. Seven banners, right? I think it makes sense. Cool. Now, your region. Choose 2 points of interest. The space between them is your region. Your starting area is in the middle of this region. You can choose anything you see here, create your own points of interest, etc. Your region is mostly for colorful background, but the adventurers may want to travel to the places you mentioned. Now, I want to incorporate both the Falling Nation and the Hidden Warren. So from the Emerald Metropolis, I'm going to put Martin in parentheses here. And so the seat of the Seven Banners is at an Emerald Metropolis. So this is like this beautiful, vast, like, in my mind, like, quintessential fantasy city, right? To the Forgotten Forest of the North. And that is where Rowan's Hidden Warren is. Now, in there, you'll find a brewing revolution. Perhaps whatever happened at the Warren, which was probably once part of the empire that we built, maybe Rowan had to flee because their family was killed, and they want to bring comfort to their people and bring them peace. And maybe this revolution has its roots where Rowan is from, and Rowan is trying to stop it because ultimately it was a good land and good people, and someone who wanted a power for the wrong reasons, or just wanting power, desiring power, is causing this problem. So this revolution, in this instance, isn't necessarily good. So let's see. So now we go into basics. In this world, magic is, I think, considering what we've seen with these characters, I think magic is fairly common. And daily life is, I'm going to put was in parentheses, filled with peace and love. Because like, as you can see, we've been building this idea of this world that is besieged by a bad revolution. And our heroes, Martin and Rowan, want to bring peace and happiness back to their people. And it's a lot like, close that parentheses. And he goes, here you can choose a movie, book, play, or other fictional work that can help everyone imagine the world. I think I'm going to put legend. The old Tom Cruise movie with the unicorns. I think that's exactly what I want. Okay, so people, now we're going to part 4. People here are hopeful that justice will be delivered. and our heroes are just the people to do it. But war looms on the horizon. Let's see, and then it goes into adventure hooks, talks about the dinner party, the lonely giant, the fog, the nameless star, the date, strangers, portrait, the children, the author, the bounty, the dream. And then it just gives you like really cool prompts for adventure hooks. I think we have all the adventure hooks we need. But yeah, that's Quest. Again, I've been on like such an indie kick lately that I've been really enjoying these more simplified character creation things. And they don't always take an hour. I just made 2 characters and a world in about 40 minutes, which is pretty impressive, I think. I'm really excited to see what else Quest is going to do in the future. I'd really like to play it someday soon. I haven't gotten to play it, but it seems pretty sound. I like this idea where it's narrative first, and the mechanics are just there to help facilitate things like combat, which needs to be a little bit more structured by dint of its nature. I don't know. But every time I've made a character for Quest, they've always come out feeling really poetic and lyrical and beautiful, and that's what I really, really respond to, and kind of like the space that I like to live in with my character creation a lot. So, that's it. I don't really have anything else to add. I mean, what's really cool is that, like, in the back it talks about, uncommon items, and they have, like, like a book you can get for for getting, like, high-end gear or something. It does talk about adventure points, AP, and yeah. And then I think, let's see, where does advancement come in? Let me find that, because that's something I should maybe talk about a little bit, too. Do, 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 do. Where's advancement? While I love this book, I think the layout is not necessarily the best. But that's okay. Okay, cool. So, advancement isn't like your typical game. So, at the end of each game session, you may choose one new ability to learn from your catalog. You don't have to. Um, let's see. But it says here abilities belong to learning paths like the Ranger Friend path shown below, which is Speak with Animal, Animal Partner, Courier, Pair Bond, and Whisper on the Wind. Pardon me. You must learn abilities in each path in order from left to right, starting with the first ability in each path. However, you don't have to get all of them. You can learn as many or as few as you want in each path as you want. Then legendary abilities, like each role has 3 or 4 of them, and those are determined by the guide, who will tell you when and how your legendary abilities can be earned, and that's really cool. So let's maybe talk about some of the Invoker's legendary abilities. Like if I were going to be playing an Invoker, ultimately I could get Wraith. You become a Wraith, a creature between 2 worlds. When you hit 0 HP, you become instantly ethereal. And then you can revert to your normal form at any time of your turn, but you cannot change forms to avoid taking damage, so you kind of become like this ghostly figure. You can get Sacrifice, which lets you lay your hands on a creature who has died, bringing it back to life, which is really cool. But it does hurt you. Each time you use this ability, you must choose an additional character flaw. Additionally, you permanently lose 2 HP from your maximum hit points, which is 10. If you reduce your max HP to 0 by using this ability, you acquire the legendary Wraith ability. You permanently enter an ethereal form, which is kind of interesting. You can also get Prophecy, which is what it says. And you can get Eternity Gate. So you project yourself past all realities and glimpse a place beyond outside time and space into the beyond. You can find a single truth by posing a question to eternity itself. And it says here you must seek fact. You won't find satisfying answers to questions like what is the meaning of life, and casting Eternity Gate is a huge risk. If you roll a 20, you receive your answer and may ask a follow-up question. On 11-19, you receive your answer. On a 6 to 10, you receive your information returned to your body after 1 week. Your mind ages by 1 year in the week. 2 to 5, you fail to receive the information returned to your body after 1 week. Your mind is racked from wrong turns in your search, and you age 10 years, and you choose an additional flaw. If you roll a 1, your mind is trapped in the beyond for 100,000 years, where you experience an endless search through a maze of other realities. After enduring this ordeal in the beyond, your mortal consciousness fundamentally changes when you return to your body after 1 week. The ideals and flaws of your previous self are washed away during your incomprehensible exile. Choose a new ideal, a new flaw, and a new dream to reflect deep changes in your character's personality. That sounds really, really, really interesting from a narrative standpoint. And then for the Naturalist, your legendary abilities are Nature's Wrath. You channel pure elemental fury. You create a storm centered on you with a radius of 1 kilometer. It lasts as long as you wish to channel it, but you take 1 HP of damage for each turn you spend maintaining the spell. You can choose the nature of the disaster: lightning, blizzard, or hurricane. Let's see, Wild Evolution. So your physical essence becomes permanently intertwined with that of a chosen animal's form. The animal can be no smaller than a mouse and no larger than an elephant. You may only choose this form once. You can morph back and forth between your original form and your chosen form at will. When you change between forms, you keep your hit points. And you can cast spells in animal form and speak telepathically to your allies. You can still use animal form and shapeshift abilities. This just becomes something that doesn't cost anything. It's free for you to use and is a little amped up. You could get World Wish, which means you become the seed for a new world. Casting this spell consumes your life forever. You can never be brought back. Your entire knowledge of nature manifests in the spell, and when you cast it, your body dissipates in radiant light, becoming a cascading wave of energy that transforms the planet you are on. The wave of energy first alters the atmosphere, making it capable of supporting life if it is not already suitable. Then, blooming cascades of living flora emanates from your location, rapidly growing and overtaking the planet's surface. The spell forms oceans and rivers that they don't already exist. If you choose at the time of casting, the spell disintegrates any constructed objects like buildings or infrastructure, returning the land to nature. It's a permanent transformation that cannot be stopped, interrupted, or reversed by counter magic. That's fucking wild. And then your last one is to dust. You return a crafted object to nature, instantly reducing it to dust. The object must be small enough to fit inside a 10 by 10 meter cube. The transformation is permanent and can't be reversed. That doesn't seem powerful at first glance, but I really feel like it is. Let's see, we have 10 minutes. I don't think we have time to do a third character, as much as fun as that would be. The book is really cool. I know I had some trouble finding some stuff in here, but it is beautifully laid out. There are just a couple things that I would have done different. I always wish that a game book would have like either an example character creation or some kind of character creation chart. You see it sometimes, but especially in indie games, I don't find it that often, which is kind of why I'm doing this. I find it really helpful to sit and make a character, even if it's not your style of character creation, because I know some people get really in-depth with it and write long backstories, and that's really cool. Some people are really quick about it. Like, I can be really quick about it if I'm just doing it for fun. I do get more involved typically when I'm going to be in a game. But however you do it, I think it's important to see a character made and built so that when you sit down at your own tables to do it, it becomes a little less intimidating and a little less confusing. Well, that is it for tonight, folks. I will be back next week doing another game. I don't know what. Maybe I'll do D&D. Maybe I will use this as a springboard to build a more mechanically robust character. Not that these characters aren't robust, but they're more narratively robust, where I find D&D much more mechanically robust. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I really enjoyed you watching me. If you enjoyed what you saw and want to help us out, we have a Patreon as well as the Twitch stream you can like and subscribe to. We really appreciate any and all help from you listeners supporting us. It means the world. Let's see. I just recorded an amazing podcast episode that'll be out in 2 weeks, featuring Jay Dragon, which was one of the most interesting gaming conversations I've had in a long time. Jay Dragon, if you're not familiar, is a big part of the creative team behind Possum Creek Games. So you'll think that Venture and Dungeon, Wickedness, Sleepaway, Wander Home, and they just kickstarted Yuzuba's Bed and Breakfast on Indiegogo. That's going to be really cool, and it's going to be like a legacy play, which means that the characters, it's pre-generated characters, and they evolve over time, and like you have stickers, and you change it over time. It's going to be really exciting, so check that out. And until then, stay safe, and enjoy the rest of your week. I know I will. Bye.